Welcome back to another video. My name's Carl Gosling and today I'm going to take a look at another Sim Racing Studios product. The last one they sent me in their little box of goodies they sent just after Christmas. It's their LED Go kit, and for those of you that don't know what that is, it allows you to fit strips of LEDs. I guess the first and foremost use would be around the edge of your monitor to give you visual feedback about what's going on in the sim that you're racing. You can also use it, around the bottom of your racing rig, almost like neons from back in the Fast and Furious days if you wanted to. But the primary use for this is to give you feedback about what's going on in the sim that you're playing at the time. I'll run through a list of what it actually supports in a second. In fact, I'll bring it up on the screen. But I'll just quickly show you what we get in the box. Now, if you've already got one of the Sim Racing Studio products that comes with one of their Intelli boxes, you can just buy the LED strips, their little controller box, and the Ethernet cable that you use to connect into this. If you haven't already got one of these, then you'll need to buy the full kit that comes with this and a power supply as well. Actually, I think the kit on its own also comes with a power supply because that little box does need one. But yeah, there's two options. So if you've already got one of these, go on the website, take a look at what you need to upgrade to this add-on. If you haven't got one of these, you should go look at their stuff anyway because it's good stuff. On that note, I've got there's a discount code KG5. If you use that in the discount code box, you'll get 5% off as well on any of their products. But anyway, yeah, if you haven't seen one of these, this is just what they call their Intelli box. This is also what the fans plug in for their fan kits, their wind simulator kits, and there's a taco output and an auxiliary output. The auxiliary is what we use for this LED controller. But so let's assume, well, you've seen this now, so you've either got one or you haven't. The main part of the LED kit is, of course, the LEDs themselves. Now, they come on this little roll that I've got here. I think I've got 5 meters, and I'm really hoping that that's enough to go around the outside of my 65-inch display. If it isn't, I'm going to have to put them around my desk monitor, which is not ideal for racing on because it's much, much smaller. But we'll find out in the next segment because I'll try and fit this live in front of the camera and we'll see whether it fits or not. But yeah, so that's what you get, your little roll of LEDs. There's a plug on the end there for plugging into the next thing that I'll show you, which is the LED control box. So that plug there is what plugs into, this plug here is what plugs into there. Really easy to do. There's your Ethernet port. It comes with one of those nice flat black cables again that I really liked. That goes one into there and one into your Intelli box on the auxiliary port. Again, I'll show you this perhaps in a second when I'm actually installing it. Or I may not do. In fact, it's pretty simple. Auxiliary to, it plugs into one end and then into the other. You can't really get it wrong. It's really simple, really easy. And then you just got your power supply input there as well. Sim Racing logo on the top. And of course, it's just another one of their 12 volt, 10 amp power supplies, standard kettle lead input on that end. And then on the other end, your barrel plug. And as I say, that just literally plugs into there like that, so you can't really get it wrong. Everything's really simple. And then of course there is a USB cable which goes to the Intelli box, which you either already have or don't have, and you will have when you eventually buy one, if you eventually buy one. And that of course plugs into there. So that's all pretty simple, not a whole lot to it. It's all plug and play, it's pretty easy. Again, if you've already got Sim Racing Studio software installed, there's no additional drivers, nothing like that. And if you don't have any of their software installed, all you need is a Sim Racing Studio software, and it recognises it and it will work. So let's just quickly do a screen capture and I'll show you. These are the supported games here. You're going to see on the left hand side where my mouse is currently scrolling down. There's a table to the right that lists your main effects, which is RPM and speed, and then what they call racing effects, flags, countdown lights, and spotter. And you can see the list of games on the left, and then there is an X in the box for each game showing what it supports. So it's pretty easy to read the table. iRacing supports everything, one more than most of the others support the first 4. iRacing supports spotter as well. And there's a few things in the notes there for some of the games. They only support certain colours, as you can see there. But iRacing by far benefits the most from this setup. You know, you can do everything available using the hardware. It looks like we can use any colors we want for any of the segments, and we support everything available. So this is what I'll be trying it in. It's what I'll be demonstrating in a little while once I get it installed. So yeah, that's what it does. This is what we get in the box. Let's cut to the next segment where I'm going to try and stick, because it's self-adhesive, this roll of LEDs around my 65-inch TV without tripping over my rig that's in the middle of the room, the cat, and hopefully without running out of length, because nobody wants to run out of length now, do we? Right, yeah, let's get to that. Right, let's get this LED strip installed. I apologise if it's a little bit dark in this segment. It's gone really overcast outside. I've only got one very small light as part of my setup, and I've kind of got it dangling from the ceiling. Try not to get a big reflection in the screen, but trying to get some light on me and the screen so you guys can see what's going on. Anyway, let's just grab this roll of LEDs before the cat does anything untoward with it. Now, thinking logically, the end where the plug is, you're going to want to be at the lowest, one of the lowest points of your screen, especially if you've got a wall mounted screen like me. My computer's down there to the left, so I'm going to have this plug in the bottom left hand corner here. In fact, let's just unreel the whole lot so I can see what's going on, because this is just self-adhesive, so I pretty much just got to peel it off, stick it round as we go, and hope that it's long enough. So yeah, I'm just going to leave, because I've got such a big screen, I think I am going to use literally all of it, so I'm not going to leave any dangling. I'm just going to leave the cable dangling. Worst case, I have my little control box sort of just dangling behind my monitor here, so that won't be too bad anyway. But yeah, let's just get this done. So this will be really interesting because I haven't used this before. I wonder how sticky it is. Pretty sticky. So, can you see me? You can just about see me. So I'm going to start in the bottom left hand corner here. Peel the adhesive back gradually. Now, I'm curious as to whether I can actually sort of snip it off to the desired length. That's something I'd have to check with Sim Racing Studio. You probably can, because I'm going to guess that, I'm just going to throw this behind my monitor for the time being. Yeah, I'm guessing we can probably snip it to desired length, because those LEDs should all be wired in parallel. Even though they're going to be individually addressed, or at least segmentally addressed, so that we can have, you know, different sides doing different things and the top and the bottom doing different things. But that's how you install it around your screen. Pretty simple, pretty easy. And if you have a smaller screen, it would be much easier still than my whacking great 65. And so then what we're left with, of course, is the little controller box there. And I'm simply just going to plug that plug I showed you earlier into the appropriate socket on there like that. And then I'm going to get these lovely black flat cables that I'm definitely a big fan of. Let's just get that undone and get this plugged in. Now it's interesting because when I first got this, excuse me, dipping out of shot for a second, I dropped the cable tie on the floor. When I first got this LED kit, I wasn't sure if it was something I'd actually use, but seeing it installed up on the TV there, I think it might well be something that stays attached after all. Or I may use them like neons on the underneath of the rig if I feel like being a bit Need for Speed, a bit fast and furious, who knows. Anyway, back to the installation. I plugged the LEDs in. The socket next to it is your Ethernet one for this nice flat cable. That goes in there like that. You get a nice click as it goes in. And then the other end goes into your Sim Racing Studio IntelliBox. Again, on the auxiliary port, not the tacho port, and not your fan output ports, which are labelled wind 1 and 2, or wind left and right, sorry, the auxiliary port. And then standard behaviour here, your USB into the USB, other end into the computer. And last but not least, your power supply barrel plug. That is also going to go into the LED box here. And I'm just going to tuck all of this out the way behind my monitor here, which is really convenient because you'd almost never know any of it was there otherwise. So that's cool. Right, so that is it all installed. Again, I apologise perhaps if the camera angle isn't great or there's not much light. It's the best I can do with the equipment I have at the moment. So hopefully that was clear enough to understand and see. So what I'll do now is, we'll do a little test drive in iRacing and we'll see exactly how it works. I may even just have the camera sat where it is because that's pretty good for seeing the LEDs around the screen. Yeah, and I'll just put my racing rig down here. So let me get that set up. We'll get in iRacing and we'll do a little demonstration. Right, so here we are in iRacing at the start of a race. You can see me revving the crap out of it at the bottom there. And then around the rest of the side, we've got the flags ready to give us the go. And there we go, there's the green flag. Now, it's going to stay flashing like this until the green flag physically disappears from the screen. Now, once that's happened, then those upper three segments, all four, bar the rev counter at the bottom, will then be your spotters and your flags. And obviously, there we go, it's just gone off there. So what I'm going to do now is just let a few cars pass me, and you'll see the as a car comes past and the spotter says car on the right, car on the left, you'll see the LEDs change accordingly. So there we go, car on the left. Obviously when it says clear, it disappears again. Another one on the left. And should we have, a black flag or whatever, that would obviously pop up across all of them as and when it happens. And there we have some on the right hand side there. But this is pretty much how it works. And it's quite cool, to be honest. I didn't know what to think about this, but it's so easy to see what's going on. The rev counter at the bottom's nice, especially when it's literally right in front of your face on a screen. You can't miss it, and the same with the spotters instructions on the left and right hand side as well. So great little extra gadget to have on your sim setup. So I'm just going to crash out now, and you can see what happens. There we go. Look, as a flag came up, then you see the whole lot of the LEDs all light up, bar the rev counter, of course. But yeah, that's the little demonstration of this Sim Racing Studio LED kit. Grab yourself one from the Sim Racing Studio website. Use my discount code KG5 for 5% off. I think it's a great little gadget to add to your sim rig if you don't already have, especially if you haven't got a digital dashboard, and you've got no other form of additional sort of visual input, then it's a nice easy one. You stick it around your monitor or your TV or whatever it is you're using, you plug it in, you set it up. There's a software setup video coming as well. That'll be next week sometime. It's pretty simple to do, but it's going to be there for you anyway. So if you like the look of it, get over to Sim Racing Studio and grab one. Thanks as always for watching, and a big thanks to those of you that have supported the channel in the last week, donations and what have you. It's all very much appreciated, all going towards making the channel better. Have a great day, and of course, take it easy.